How's it going, everybody? Good to see you. Gonna do a little project on the DRZ here behind me. It needs, I have seal savers on this bike. The set I have on here has been on for probably 3 years. They have a couple small scuffs. They're not torn completely through, but some scuffs on them and that, so I have a new set right here. These are the full length ones, and these are the slip-on. You have to take the forks off. They're not Velcro or zipper. They are the 44 to 50 millimeter size right there. I don't know if they have a part number on them or not. There's the Tucker Rocky tag. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you here in the camera kind of what you have to take loose. It's not a major project. You only need a couple things even to take it loose. I think a 12 millimeter ratchet, a 24 millimeter for the axle, Phillips screwdriver, and a pair of dikes to clip some shit off here. So I'll just kind of show you here before I get started. Okay, like I said, you have your axle bolt to take out. Of course, you got 12 millimeters kind of for your axle clamp here on both sides. You have to take the 12 millimeter bolts out of your caliper, and of course your triple clamp up here. You got to take 4 12 millimeters off of each side so you can slide your tubes out. You'll have to take this Phillips screw out over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, get cracking stuff loose, and see if we can get these things on. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take this Phillips screw out here first, just so I don't forget. That lets that get loose and droopy. Loosen the axle bolt. Knock shit over. Of course, you want to take this nut off. You want to take this nut off before you loosen your clamp on the far side. That's what holds it, your axle, tight until you get your nut off. And once again, I am not a mechanic, so I'm just showing you how I do it so that I don't got a bunch of haters and trolls saying you didn't do this, you don't do that. I'm just doing it the way I do it, and just watch along, chill out. Maybe it'll help you if you want to do it yourself. Pop the caliper loose. Second caliper bolt. Got those out. Don't squeeze your brakes. I'm just going to put them a couple turns in, so maybe that'll keep me from losing them. Okay. Get the wheel off here. Get a rubber mallet. rubber mallet. Still gonna need a little something to push out the rest of the way through. Don't really want to use anything metal. Get a pair of pliers. You know, I've opened the drawers on the little toolbox up there 1,000 times. Still, when I go to get a pair of pliers, I can't remember what drawer they're in. Okay. Pull your axle out. Just watch your speedometer cable here. You'll have a little wheel spacer here. Be careful that doesn't fall out, or at least keep track of it. And take your front wheel and lean it over against your KLX 300. Oh, I forgot. I got a 10 millimeter on here that I'm gonna have to take out that holds the speedo cable. Got a 10 millimeter here somewhere. Where you at? Okay. I know you guys probably can't see it in the video, but I apologize for my bike is actually a little more dirty than I like it. Okay. Just gonna put that bolt back in there so I don't lose it. Okay. Get the fork tubes loose. Still got the 10 on, that ain't gonna work. Idiot! Now these fork tubes, I know guys are going to want to know the torque specs to tighten them back up, but you know what? And make sure you hold that. You can see it started to slide out. That started to slide down. I wasn't holding on to it, and they can drop the whole way out and slam on the floor. So you got to be careful. There you go. There's your tube. Now what I'll do is I'm going to do one of these, then I'm not going to worry about showing the other side because they're kind of both the same. So. Down here a little bit. Okay. Before I even take my seal off, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. I got a little bit of 4/0 steel wool. Just going to take that over the tube. Okay, now if you haven't had, if you still have the original 1970 disco boots on here, you just need to loosen your clamps and slide that boot up off the top, then you're good to go. I already have these installed, so of course I need to cut these clamps. I don't think these clamps are reusable. Could maybe pry them up and reuse them, but I'm just taking the side cutters here and cutting them off. I apologize if you guys can't always see my pretty head in the video, but okay, now slide that baby up off the old one. Now I'll show you This one here, I mean, no leaks. Little tiny bit of dirt around the bottom, but these things have not been off for 3.5 to 4 years. And you can see there's a little bit of dust around here, but no mud, no grime. I mean, these things, to me, these things are, I mean, 99% as good as the original boots, plus they look a hell of a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe this up, clean this off, and get the new one out and get it slid on. Get in there real good. Can't get in there as good as I want to with a cheesy little paper towel. Okay. This bike is a 2013 with 4,000 miles on it. These seals are the original seals that are on here. So 4,000 miles so far on them, no leaks. Now I didn't do the other one yet, but of course there's no leak on this one. I shouldn't talk shit till I know. But everything's looking real good as far as the seals. So let me go ahead and get a little dirt on the bottom yet. Okay. Open the new seal savers up. Of course, the bag is sealed at the top, so I have to get out my handy little multi-tool. Get your 2 seal savers and 2 large zip ties. Now, if you were paying attention, I cut a large one off and a small one. I put a secondary small zip tie on at the bottom of mine below these. You don't have to do that. Of course, you get some little seal saver stickers there, like 4 of them. You're into those. Now, these seal savers, they always have this little logo imprinted on the side. It looks cool when you have it out, the outside of your bike, but the problem is this always wears off and starts to look like hell. So I just turned them to the inside of my bike whenever I put them on there, so that when they wear off, they don't look so shitty. I mean, you can turn them, after they wear off, you can turn them too. I mean, it's not a big deal. Just got to get them started here. Come on. Of course, once you get them down here, you got to work them over the larger diameter tube. And I can see the line where I had mine before. Now they do have this seam on them. So with this seam, I know I said about having these spun around, but if you don't like the seam showing, you're going to have to basically have the seal saver on the outside of your bike. Just takes a little bit of time to work these down over your larger. And what I did here, let me get this. You can see how I brought it down over. You could stop here and just put your large band on. I bring it down over the next step, and that's where I had that small zip tie was down here. Then I'll put the larger one up on this collar right here. Okay. Remember which side I'm dealing with here. I need a pair of pliers to yank these tight. Kind of get it where you want it for sure. Excuse me, I'm going to lay this down here a second. Okay. Pulled tight. Clip that off. I'm going to go get my new little zip tie. Okay. Oh look, shit! I covered up my little S on the seal saver. Son of a bitch. Okay. Put this lower one around. You don't have to do this, or like I said, you could just put your large one down here if you wanted to. I just like to be different. Just be a goofy little son of a bitch and put a second one on. Okay. Come over here. Now you can see you also have these two little rubber rings here on your triple clamp that you got to slide up through. So clean them out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and get this up. Another thing you want to do too is pay attention to when you take your fork tube out. I mean, there's a little line, little groove right in here. That's where the top, when you slide this up in, the top of your upper triple clamp will be right at that groove, is where you want it to be. Okay, now the smart thing to do would be to have my ratchet ready. I'm going to get that up to that groove. I'm doing it with just a little bit of the groove showing. I'm just going to give these a... Like I said, I do not know the torque specs on these triple clamps, but you do not want to go cranking the shit out of these and screw your tube up. Okay. Take a look here. There it is up in your clamp. And of course, you got your seal saver there. My two little straps. And of course, there's your lower fork. And now, what you want to do is, I mean, ideally, you want to torque those to the proper torque specs. And you want to follow in your owner's manual as far as putting your front wheel on. Follow directions as far as the order in which you're supposed to put the axle bolt in. And, you know, tighten your clamps up. And of course, you need to put the bike off the stand. Loosen your clamps back up. You want to hold your front brake and put some downforce on the fork tubes to get your front wheel lined up on your axle, and then you can go ahead and do your clamps, which it will explain that to you in your owner's manual. So you go ahead and get your wheel in there straight. You don't have all kind of issues when you're going down the road with wobbling and lumping and going sideways and shit like that. So I'm going to go ahead, get the other side done, and get this thing wrapped up. Okay, well, I was wrong. The Suzuki manual does not tell you how to reinstall the wheel. They tell you how to remove it, then just say reverse procedure. I'm just going to show you real quick what I do to put the wheel on. I'm not saying this is correct. This is the way I do it. I don't have any issues with as far as wheel travel or anything out of balance or anything like that. I have everything loose. I have the nut hand tightened on the axle. Now, this is a metal punch here. You should be using probably something metal, brass or wood or something like that, plastic. I'm going to make sure this axle goes the whole way in. It goes in about 1/16 of an inch from flush, is where it should be. So now, since I have that in, and then once again, I do not know the torque specs on these nuts or bolts. There's a phone call, we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Alright, axle in, hand tightened, this side of the clamp tight. Now, once again, zero, I have no clue of what this is supposed to be torqued at. I'm just going to snug it up. Now, since I have that snugged, if I can find my damn ratchet, I got shit laying everywhere, I'm going to loosen this back up. So, everything is loose, both sides. These two, axle is tight. So, I'm going to take it off of the lift, put it down, put the kickstand up, squeeze the front brake, give it a couple shoves forward like that. You can do more if you want. I'm going to try to get it back up on the freaking stand here. Okay. Now, I'm going to tighten all 4 clamps up, and of course, I have 0 torque specs. So, look those all up so you know them. All I'm going to say is just don't crank the shit out of them. I just get them snugged up. Okay, feeling good about that. Take a quick look. There you go. And to me, they look a hell of a lot better than the 70s disco boots. And that really, if I wasn't filming this, those probably would have been done easily within a half hour, doing it no problem. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe you learned something. Maybe get a set of seal savers on your DRZ, make it look a little bit better. Remember to like, subscribe, get on your DRZ, get outside. Thanks for watching. Peace.